All right, so tell me a little about your game. What are we doing here?
The last time, very aggressive on the right side, pushing.
Okay.
A lot. So we did a lot of one arm. We did a lot of one arm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Last 4 months, with work and everything, because my busy season, I didn't pick up a club for 4 months.
Okay.
So I just started again 3 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
And I went right back into the same drill. So every time I go to the range, which is probably 2 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
I try to.
Okay.
Then first thing is always left, the drill that you showed me.
Okay.
Left hand only. With you, I don't think I could hit a ball with my left side. I mean, it wouldn't go anywhere. I was duffing it, missing it, doing everything. Now I can make contact. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not.
Sure.
So it's kind of, that part's inconsistent.
Okay.
But still fight with that a little bit. And when we talked, you said, you really got to solve that problem of pushing with the right, or you're going to struggle the rest of your life.
Sure.
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Howie became certified with you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I just took a lesson with him a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And
that's great to have a local resource.
It is. So he can watch what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we just started a couple of drills and stuff. And one of the things right off the bat that you noticed on my takeaway, I have a bad tendency to coming like this in the inside.
Gotcha.
So we, immediately, and so we worked on it. He filmed again, showed it to me, and he said, "Still doing it." So I keep doing that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just ingrained in me to do this, but we're trying to get that club head in front of the hands on the way back.
Okay.
And then, because I spend so much time really in the backswing and everything, I don't really have the transition down, I don't think. I do that in the mirror. I do a ton of drills. I go to the gym, right leg, loading up in that right side over the right heel. So I do that a lot. You know what I mean? So I think I'm comfortable with that. But then the transition, I don't think I'm hitting it.
Okay. Well, let's watch you hit a couple, and let's put them on camera and see what's going on.
Yeah. And everything I said could mean nothing. Right?
I think you got probably a better picture than you think.
You probably listen to these stories all day and say, "Listen, I just want to see the tape. Just let me see you swing."
All right, let's take a look. See that okay? Trying to get out of the sun here a little bit. Yeah, come on, this maybe you can see better. All right, so let's look at face on first. Now this camera angle is off a little bit, but initial thought looks like the ball's a little far back, but I'll check that again in a minute. Great big turn. And then right side push a little bit, but not too bad. Transition looked pretty close. A little tight with the forearm, like the wrist. You're trying to control the club a little too much. But overall, not bad at all, but your wrists are stiff. And you're not letting the club work. You're kind of manipulating and making it go where you want it to go. And the club, it's called a golf swing for a reason, not a golf hit, right? So when you're holding onto the club tight and making your club do stuff and try to move through certain areas, the club will never work the way it's supposed to, because the only way it's going to get there is for it to move naturally. And to move naturally, it's got to be driven from the inside out. So I'd want to soften up your hands and stuff a little bit, but that's not like the big stuff. The big one really is as you're coming down, it's just a little bit of right side pushing into the shoulder turn there. It's not bad though. Let's look at the face on, or excuse me, down the line. See that? Yeah, you flipped it inside. It's just right wrist hinge.
Isn't that amazing? I'm going to work on it for 2 weeks now. Exact same thing.
That's all right, we can fix that, no problem. So you get a little deep there. That's part of where your right side push comes from. So these things are two related. So when I'm talking about right side push, what I mean is the right shoulder starting to move to initiate the downswing.
Yep.
And once that happens, the whole sequence is kind of starting to fall apart, right? But you're doing what people need to do when they get the club this deep going back, because you can't hit the ball from back here, right? It's in a weird position, it's so deep that you've got to do something to try and get the club back out to the ball. And so when you take the club back deep, then almost always a right side, right shoulder push will take over to try and get the club back out to the ball. So part of fixing your takeaway, trying to fix that stuff first, what Howie's doing with you, is on the right track so that you start getting the club to go up and out and stay in front of you, so you don't have to use the right shoulder push to get the club back out. So when you get the club that deep, that's what's going to typically result. And there we see the right shoulder working a little bit hard, but not too bad. Come a little bit too far from the inside, again, because you were deep. Impact position is not bad at all. A little right heel lift there, a little bit of right side drive, but not bad at all. Release looks pretty darn good. Little tiny things there. So really what we want to do is fix this, because you've actually got a pretty good move overall, but when you flip the club inside and take it deep, all bets are off, because you have to make compensations there.
Okay.
So the first thing I'd want to do is get you feeling not what's going on with that, but feeling what's going on here. And so we want to start making it a golf swing again. And so when you're taking this back like this and setting the right wrist and deviating this left wrist to get the club inside, you're activating the muscles in your forearms and everything right away, and that's what's getting you going here. So what we want to start doing is feeling that our upper body's taking the club back and our hands are just kind of following along. And then we'll slowly build that into getting you all the way to the top. So go ahead and set it for me, throw the club down. And just put your arms out, because I already know you can rotate just fine. So let's skip ahead.
Okay.
There you go. Go ahead and set it for me. And just go ahead and rotate back. Okay, so you do it perfect, right? And the hands are right where they're supposed to be. Keep finishing your turn. All right, so you've drilled this. Your hands are right where we want them to be. So that one's a little bit, yeah, relax that one. So you want to stay neutral. You had it kind of going like this, which is going to encourage this whole flip inside. So we're going to break that habit. Go ahead and set up again for me. Let's do it with the club, because you already got this. I can tell you've drilled this, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push on this joint right here, and I'm going to hold this. That's the takeaway. So as I push on this, this is the opposite of what you're doing, right? So if I hold that joint in place, you can't get the club to go inside your hands anymore. So you can just make that same turn that you did there, done, right? The club stays outside your hands without you trying. So now just imagine that I'm pushing against that joint, okay? And a little bit flatter. There you go. You're taking it back. Two shut and getting. Anytime you put your right wrist on top of the club like this, you're going to want to make it want to hinge.
Got it. So I want to turn that a little bit.
Remember, we need to be able to shake hands over here, right?
Yep.
There you go. Yep. Perfect. Perfect takeaway.
So both arms are completely straight right up to this point.
They're very, very straight. Yep. So now do what you were doing before. So let's see if we can mimic the two, because I want you to feel the difference. So you were doing, I think the club was about maybe here.
Yep.
So feel what that feels like if you do it at full speed. So like pretend you're gonna hit a ball and let's take it back. There you go.
All right.
So what did you feel compared to what you felt when I was pushing on that joint?
Well, like I was pulling back.
Exactly. So what you're trying to recognize when you make a mistake and I give you the correction and I have you go back and do it wrong, I want you to feel the sensations in between the two. So what you're really trying to detect is it my right arm or my left arm, right? You could be just pushing back with your left wrist. So that's when I start grabbing your hands and I feel it. But what I want you to feel is the right way, just by pushing.
And I do a little turn like that to keep that up.
Well, you're going to start there.
Just a touch, right?
That would be your normal.
Okay, start there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, right there is perfect.
Okay.
There's going to be a little bit of rotation as you go back. Not much, but that's it, right?
Really.
One more little correction So you have a tendency, as you're going back, to tilt slightly, and this is partly why you had such a shut face.
Oh, like my plane?
Your shoulder plane, exactly, gets a little steep, and so as you do this, that's what gets the hand on top,
right.
And that's why you're going to have that shut face, and why you're struggling to feel like, oh, I got to really rotate my hands. If you rotate back neutrally, you won't tilt your shoulders, and that will get the hand in that position naturally. This arm's going to be a little low. There you go. So the rotation is really there. It's not much, but now your shoulders aren't tilted like they were.
Right.
A little more elevation and you got it. What I mean by elevation, this is this movement, right?
Right.
As you're going back, you elevate. Now to you, it's going to look like, can I throw another club down? I'm just going to put this right on your target line there. Go ahead and set up. From your eye's perspective, it's going to look like this club traces that shaft the whole way out from the way you're looking at it. Versus, right? So if you're adding elevation, tilting.
Yep.
There you go. You feel the difference there?
Yep. So I have to elevate to keep that club head on.
It has to be elevation, exactly. If you don't elevate, the club rips inside, and then this is where you end up like everybody else does.
Right.
More elevation, right? There you go. That's too much, but you got the idea. So right here is where we're going to finish that takeaway. Flat with the shoulder, a little lower with the shoulder. There you go. Straighten that out. That's perfect. So now when you're checking this, if we drop that club for a second, it should drop literally like right there. It's going to go right about where the ball of your foot is, just ahead of that, straight down the target line.
Parallel with this club?
Parallel, exactly. So it's just straight down the target line. So when you do your takeaway, do it again. Okay, and now just drop the club, literally just drop it. There you go. So it dropped right there, right?
Yep.
That's your checklist. If it drops like this, you're going to start recognizing exactly, right? And if it drops out here, you just kind of overcooked it because now you're taking too much elevation, not enough rotation.
Okay. All right, so that's too much. That shoulders could be down a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so I've been trying to bring that back.
There you go.
I thought I was getting too flat at some point, so I did do that.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay.
Nice. That looked good. Finish it all the way up to there and you're done. A little inside, close there. There you go. If you're going to make a mistake, make it out there.
Okay.
Right? If you're going to screw up, totally fine to screw up out there. Back here, put you in amateur golf world.
Okay.
So remember that I've done that video of the 4-square drill on the site? I don't know if you've seen that one.
4 square? No.
4-square, it's ancient. But put a club, here's how it works basically. Stay there. The golf swing in my mind has 4 quadrants. There's box 1, box 2, box 3, and box 4. We just lay the clubs down like that. The takeaway and the entire backswing, as far as you're concerned, stays in box 2. Everything. The club never goes into box 3. Now, of course it does. The trick is how you get there. It's your body rotation that creates the depth element in the golf swing, and your arm movement that creates the leverage and the vertical movement of the swing. So your arms, as you're going back, is you swear the club's always staying in box 2, which is probably what it feels like when you're doing this drill and adding elevation, right? So do it again for me. Just leave the club there. And just put your arms out. So now let's make this little swing. Your hands are in box 2, right? That's what it feels like. The club's out here in this space.
Okay.
As you keep turning, you still feel like that club's in box 2 with your arms, but your body rotation moves it into box 3. But you're always pretending that it's out there.
Correct. Okay.
Yep, there you go. Good. There you go. Do you feel the difference in
Yes.
this? And you're going to feel it back in here.
It's actually easier to drop the shoulder a little bit flatter.
Exactly, yeah. When you're looking at your swing from face on, and you're looking at this takeaway drill, if flipper can jump through here, it's too big. You can see this gap between my forearms. This is when you tilt, right? You can see how my shoulders are like, I'm exaggerating, right? Now what do you look like? From your perspective, you can see a little space there,
Sure.
but they're almost kind of covering the bottom of it, right? That's what you want to look at from face on. If you guys had a mirror at this amazing golf facility, you could see this. I may have to donate it for you. Rotary Swing donation to Treviso Bay.
Okay.
So keep the club in box 2 as you're going back, and I can put this back out here for you as a visual. Nice. Good. Yep. Right there. And then keep going back. Let's see if we can go all the way back. Finish your turn. There you go. So again, you're feeling like the hands are way out here in box 2. The whole time, relax that one. There you go. Watch what happens. You elevate this, you change the pitch and attitude of the shaft, right? The arm's underneath. Nice. There you go. Good. Box 2, all the way to the top. Up, 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 up. Right away.
Too much? Not enough?
There you go. There you go. That's a little exaggerated, but that's a good way to practice right now.
Right.
Up. Shoulder down. There you go. There you go. Up. Finish your turn. There. Good.
Want to do it again? Did I?
Yeah. You did awesome. You exaggerated these. These were all a little bit outside, which is fine while you're doing these drills. And then you went whoop, when you added speed. Right. So as soon as you did that, your wrists went right back into letting that right wrist hinge back. Right. Notice as you're doing this, watch the club face. I'm going to exaggerate. What is that, Chuck?
Closed.
It's closed, right? This is closing it.
Because it's on top.
Exactly. Let's shake hands. That club face is always rotating. From the moment it starts moving, it's rotating open, and then from the moment you start that downswing, it's always starting to rotate closed. But you're taking it back shut, and then you're gonna have to flip it, which is why you feel this. And you're like, that feels dumb. A wonk. There you go. Now let it keep rotating like that all the way to the top. Let's say hinge your wrist. So let the club keep rotating as you finish.
Up there.
Better. Pretty good there. Yep, good. Better.
What did I do? Did I move my wrist back?
You moved your arms there. Do it again. I'm going to help you. Turn. Relax your arms. There you go. So what you need to do, one, this has got to rotate. You're trying to like keep this down for some reason, it looks like. And then when that happens, you swing your arms across your chest. This arm has to be allowed to rotate. So take your right arm off for a second. And go to the top. Interesting. Do it again. Okay. Do it one more time. Watch. The first thing you did when you took it back with left arm only, relax your arm, is you went like this. Nice and quiet and slow. There. Keep going to the top. There. Not here. It's got to rotate. Rotation, relax your wrist. Rotation helps create the swing plane. But if you don't let your arm rotate, and you got it like this, then you're going to swing your arm across your chest. And that's why that right arm gets really deep. Let it rotate as it works up to get up on point. Now, took it into, look how bowed your wrist is. The left wrist is going to feel like it stays like I'm pushing on that joint the whole time to stay feeling like it's cut.
Well, the forearm is what I want to turn.
Yep. Your whole, not just your forearm, the whole arm.
Okay.
Yep. Your elbow's got to rotate. too much. There you go. Right there's good. If you relax, that's too much. So you're trying to manipulate. Just swing the club back and forth and forget golf for a second. There you go. Okay, you're taking it back shut. Really, really shut. Finish your turn. So when you get to the top, this wrist is going to be here, not bowed like this. That shuts the face.
Completely different feel.
Bowed it again.
But at some point, the wrist is going to turn. Look.
It's got to turn, but doesn't have to bow. Rotation is one thing. This movement is another. So you're going to pretend that it stays cupped the whole way back. Now look where it is halfway back. It's perfect, right? Don't push against me. I can feel that. Now, just keep going and keep that cupped. What's going to feel like cupped to you. That's anatomically flat. That's where you want it at the top. If you do this, try and set your wrist. You can't, right? So you're going to have no lag coming down. The more you try and bow this wrist, you're going to have to then make up for it with hinge from the right. Bowed. There you go. There you go. Keep going. There you go. You feel how your wrist can cock now when it's in that position, and it can soften up. That's better. Keep turning. Keep turning. That's bowed. Look at the club face. Here's a simple way to check this. When you go to the top of your swing, just do what you just did. I'll stand here.
Okay.
And now, keep everything the same and stand up and see what your club face looks like when your arm's parallel to the ground. Go all the way to the top for me. Let's do it one more time. All the way to the top with your normal swing. Don't even think about it first. Just go all the way to the top. Okay, good. Now stand up. Is that club face parallel to the ground?
No.
What does that mean?
But I bowed a little bit.
It's shut, right? So you bowed this wrist. How would it look parallel with this forearm? Is that this wrist has to be anatomically flat. So when you come out of your posture every time, check that. And if it's shut like this, you know that all that's going to do is encourage you to keep ripping it inside as you go back. That's better. Rotate. Good. Almost. I'll show you one little trick here. When you go here, it looks great. And then right about here, instead of letting your arm continue to elevate and work up, you go this way. And that bows the wrist. The arm is going to, remember, it's always going to stay in box 2.
Here. And then go up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then, now stand up out of it. Check the club face. Hey, look at that. Perfectly square.
So there's a spot where I'm doing it. That's good.
It's about halfway back.
Down here?
Yeah,
so right then I get a remember to elevate instead.
Exactly.
Elevate.
There you go.
Here, elevate.
Nice.
Here, elevate. Okay?
Bingo. Perfect.
All right, now I gotta here, elevate.
Again.
Here, elevate.
But remember, you're elevating the whole time, right?
Right.
So it's not, you go a little bit inside and then up, that won't work. So you're always going up, 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 up. And then once you get to the top, you just bring this up to support this arm. Whereas normally you pull this back here, right? That'll always create that shut face. Up, 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 up. There you go. Elevation. That was better. We're close there. Do it left arm only, then bring your right hand at the top. There you go. That's what I want to see. Go ahead and do that again.
One or two hands?
Left hand only. And then you can put your right hand on at the top. Okay, we're close there. Let me show you. Oh, you need your glasses?
Thank you. That's a whole different movement for me.
Alright, so. Right there, the wrist starts to flatten out. How do I know that the wrist started to flatten out? Right? Exactly. So it was way better. That's 3 feet better than where you were.
Right.
But it's still starting to flatten out. And you can see that if you look at your wrist. It's just starting to bow a little bit there. Not bad, but it's happening. But now, normally, from there, that club is back here by your butt. Now it's going up there, right? Now, you got a swing plane. It can work. That's a million times better.
Yep.
Okay. It's how you got there, understanding this elevation, keeping the club always in box 2, going back. Let the left arm elevate and work up, and then the right arm comes underneath to support it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That left wrist, just imagine that I'm still pushing on that joint the whole time as you go back. You're elevating, rotating, but don't let this wrist bow that much, because that's going to shut the face and make it inside. Let's see if we can get it perfect.
The whole arm is rotating.
Yeah, the whole thing. All right, the club's always rotating. You got it if you add a little more elevation as you're doing this. Remember, don't try and push your arm across your chest. Your arm's only doing this while you're doing this, right? There you go. Better. Better. All the way to the top now. Nice. Bring the right hand up to support it. Good. So from there, you don't have to do the push. And in fact, it would feel kind of funky. Because if you did the push from this great spot, you'd sense I'm coming right over the top of it, which you're too good of a golfer to do that. So you're going to sense like, oh, I can now actually bring my weight shift to bring the club down instead of trying to recover from here and then heaving it over the top. Right. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's really the only thing that you could get. I've stepped on many a club in my day. So when you can get comfortable feeling this is still neutral. We can shake hands. It's not this weird handshake. The arm's elevating while I'm turning to bring my arms and club into that depth dimension. And then from there, it's going up. I bring this up right underneath to support it. It's done. Everything else looks great. But the little mistakes that you have in your swing are caused from that compensation. When you set the swing off on the wrong foot right away as the club drips inside, and then it's just going to recover. The other stuff looks fantastic. So let's keep doing this left arm only drill. I want to see if you can do it at least 10 times in a row perfect. And then we'll put the right hand back on there the whole time. Nope. Inside. There you go. If you're going to make a mistake, keep it out there. There you go. That's a little too much, but that's fine for right now. Nah. You're doing really good with this part. And then when you add speed, you do this. You feel this. That. That. One more little trick. You ever heard the idea of hands in, club out? You never heard that before? Okay. So, in golf parlance, the concept is talking about as you're going back, club head, if your hands were more or less inside on a tighter arc, the club head will stay out. But if my hands go out, the club will go in. Does that make sense? Hands in, club out, hands out, club in. So when you're doing this drill, you have a sense that you want to bring your arm out. You're pushing it, since it's doing a little bit of elevation, you're trying to push it too far out, and it's making it move further away from your body. So I like to imagine that I have a pane of glass on my forearm set. My forearm is never allowed to go inside of that glass, outside the glass. It's there. If you're going back, step turning, you're elevating a little bit to keep it out there. You can't bust through it. You bust through it. So you jump the club. And then cut out. Almost perfect. Progress. There you go. Just elevate your time. Now come back from there. Perfect. Again. Looking better. Nice. Down from there again. Nice. It's going to feel different from where you're used to here.
feels less tough. More powerful.
It will feel a lot more powerful when you get comfortable being there. Right now you have to think about how to get there, so the muscles can't really load dynamically. It's slow. As you do this with some speed in your arms, you can have fun, more leverage. The bigger thing is you don't have to make a compensation. The club doesn't have to work to get back out on top of the plane versus when it's up inside the blue shot bank. Now you're fighting two birds, right? You got a closed club face, and you got a deep arm. You're kind of a little bit too far from the inside. So yeah, your arms are deep. They're all easy. Come on now. I get paid to teach people how to ball with a stick. I got the best job for it. There you go. How's it looking, Howie? Little bit of flip right at the bottom, or excuse me, right when you're here. It's really good at the top. You have a little bit of flip, the right wrist going to the head, right? Not that. Again, it's 3 feet back. Definitely. Right now we're having focus. So you're thinking about it, you're going to kind of activate it. That's normal. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not thinking no problem. Then from here now, elevation. The elevation gradually happens. The reason you're not going to break the glass, even though you're elevating your arm, it seems like you break it right away, right? So how can you elevate your arm and not break the glass? Because your arms are being moved inside by your turn. So if you're turning aggressively, then the arms are going to flow right away and going up. Yeah, getting out of the box too. It's almost like you're taking a pail of water from here, you're going to throw it out that way. Use the whole body to move the plasma. Like you're going to toss a pail of water. Okay, do it again. You're still, yeah, you did this again. So you got to be careful with that. So we have this, hold it upside down. Do the same thing. Again. Set up again for me. Go do it again. So again, when you make a mistake, two things that happen is you start to move this arm too, like you're pushing it too hard. It's a little bit of elevation. Too much. Yeah, exactly. And then this starts to happen, right? But if you just turn back in a nice neutral, like it'll always stay right there. There you go, again. And the reason I flipped it upside down is because this gives you a lot of momentum that makes you really want to flip that wrist. There you go. Good.
Okay, that's almost a little bit. See that? You want it perfectly straight?
Not right there. It's perfect. Like if you let go of the club for a second, and let your arms hang down, what kind of natural wrist flexion?
Yeah, just a little bit, just like that.
That's neutral.
Yeah.
during the takeaway, it should stay there. Technically, you're going to lose a little bit throughout the whole swing. But because this is what happens in your swing, you're going to practice keeping it in neutral the whole time. So it's going to feel like all the way to the top. And the worst thing that would happen to you at the top, if you kept it perfectly neutral, is the club face might be 1 or 2 degrees open versus 10 degrees shut. Okay. You can recuperate from 1 to 2 degrees open. Right? Okay. From 10 degrees shut, it's not going to work out quite as well.
If we're going to err, I want to err on that side.
Bingo.
Pretty close.
Left arm only though. Same feeling, left arm only. Come on. Not. Do you feel it?
Yep. I did feel it.
You did this instead of this.
Yeah.
How much rotation has to be in that arm? Yeah. Not this. Almost. All you did there, you went back and looked at that your arm is working so hard out away from your body that again the club is going to want to go in when your hands go out that much. So hands in, there you go. That naturally forces it to stay out. And then you just keep going up with it. There. There you go. Look at the club face. Shut. Not here. That's right where you started. Keep it there the whole time, all the way to the top. Shut. That's it. There you go. Good.
So keep your hand just like that. Don't even move don't even move.
It's going to feel like it to you. I promise you it's moving way more than you think. Let's go back down to the dress. Well, that's funny. That's not where you started, right?
Right.
So it moves, right?
Right,
but
right,
to
right.
you, it's going to feel like
I feel like I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Okay.
Really close there. See how flat this is?
Yep.
That's where you started. That's square. And again, we need that wrist cock to happen in there. And it's not going to happen like this. Get closer. Oh, you got a lot of tension in there. I don't know what that golf club did to you to make you so upset with it. You don't need to strangle it. There we go. Feel that? That was good with the wrist, but now the shaft is vertical.
Right.
How come? Bingo. Exactly. Your arm, just if you got golf for a second, and I just said, hey, swing your arm up. This is going to rotate, right? Naturally, because it has to. But you're trying to do this. Keep this elbow down. Just let it swing around. And again, that's tension, right? If you let your arm swing freely, guess where your arms are? Everything's flat. You're just trying to manhandle, control that golf club. There you go. That's why I'm having you do these left arm only drills, but you're still not letting the club just swing naturally. You're trying to control it.
So when I go like this, it's still where it's supposed to be. That's perfect. Is that fine?
The golf club complicates things, which is why I don't teach with it very often. We get this working correctly, and then we throw the golf club back.
So it's just like that.
Yeah, just where it is. Perfect. Now bring your right hand in. Done. The whole thing. In general, the golf swing is way more natural than we make it out to be. Do that again with just your left arm. All the way to the top, right hand on. Finish your turn. There you go. But do that again with your left arm only. Make sure you finish your turn all the way to the top. There. Now put your right hand up. That's closer. That's what we're talking about. So now, that one's perfect. Yeah, right above your shoulder, right? And then all you gotta do is bring the flat arm up underneath it. You saw that you turned that, right? So otherwise, it's perfect. So if you had finished it, if you kept your rotation where you were there, your arms would be right where you want them. Before they were like way down to the So as you keep working on this, this is going to become more natural when you stop getting.
You think this little thing just ingrained, right?
Oh, for sure.
Take a walk with it.
Yeah, it's for sure. But also, again, the weight of the club just encourages you to do that. The club, the momentum of the club is wanting to go around. You have to make it go around. So if you just do this, it's gonna gladly oblige you to rip around your body. So as you're going back and you get comfortable with turning and letting the arm swing up, your arm is much more relaxed and it's going to stay neutral. When you get tension in your forearms, you start trying to manipulate, control this thing. All bets are off. There you go. Okay, perfect. Stay there and bring your right arm up. There you go, you're done. Good. That's good. Perfect. Simple, right? Now, when we add that golf club in there, you flip it upside down though, so you don't have that momentum of the mass of the club head. And then you can do the same thing. So grab the club, choke up on it, but flip it upside down. Okay. Do the same thing, left hand only, just like you were. Just swing back and forth. Just get up to the top, just like you just did. Forget that you got a golf club in your hand. There you go. Keep the right shoulder back, bring your right hand in. Whole swing. Perfect position at the top. You have to try to get again. Almost. Well, now that you got something in here,
Did I do that?
Yeah. But when you were swinging without that, you didn't do it, right? Because there's nothing to move. There you go. All the way up. Let this arm rotate. There you go. Now bring that right arm underneath. There you go. Good. Much better. Don't worry about that stuff. That's going to be the easy part.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a lot easier to bring the club down into there.
Isn't that funny?
When it's up here.
I think it would be hard. All this would be harder to bring you back.
Well, it would be if you didn't already drill the snot out of it. You know how to get there. It's just that you put yourself in a position that nobody can get there.
And I have. I'm really.
Good. Better. We're getting there. Let the club face rotate a little bit open. Just make a handshake. Right hand underneath. Then come down from there. Remember, if you're not sure, go to the top again. If you're not sure, stand up out of your posture and let this go on. Look at the club face. Yep. Now watch the club face. That's pretty darn shut, right?
This position.
That's really shut.
Okay, so we went like this after we went back. Totally, this is dry.
But look at the difference in your wrist. Like that club face is changing 20 degrees. That's a ball that's out of bounds, right? I mean, that's all it takes to hit a ball out of bounds. Look how little your wrist is changing. Your wrist is barely moving. But that club face is changing 20 degrees. So this is the kind of stuff that you got to start becoming aware of when you go to the top and you stop and you check it. You're like, holy crap, that takes nothing. But now that club face is there, close to it, right? Versus this tiny little deviation. And if that deviation happens right away with all this momentum, you're never going to detect that. It's never going to happen. That's why you've got to do this and check it. Get comfortable swinging. Okay, club faces, club faces.
So nothing else is happening in my shoulders, or nothing else is. I'm just elevating this way.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. As I come back, I'm just raising. Well, it's kind of like this is one heavy pedal.
Exactly.
So it's raising, it's turning, and during that turn, it's elevating.
Exactly. And you're just learning to blend those two motions together as this arm rotates internally to get your arm up to the top. Now again, that'd be an extremely shut face. Now a little. This is 20 degrees shut at least. There you go. Good. You kind of imagine this is generic, but you think that this hand is not pointing to the sky. I don't want you to go to read a watch. You shouldn't be pointing to the ground. It's about halfway, about 45 degrees. There you go. Almost. Two-thirds. Yeah. I don't want to see this. There you go. Ah. There you go. Yeah. Good. When when you go out on tour, you don't want these people from the grandstands that are reading the watch.
I think I'll be touring soon.
So grab the club and see if we can get up there with the club again.
Nope, didn't.
Did you feel it?
Yep.
Getting there. That wrist movement was way better. Do it again. And you just gotta let this wrist go. Not the wrist. Don't change your wrist. You had that perfect. So this has to go just the head.
That's what I want to understand. I think I'm feeling that.
It's just this. Just a little bit of rotation. Not even that. Literally, it's gonna start here, and the top of your swing over there. So you're like holding this in. So tight. So when you swing your arm, go ahead and go to the top. Just swing it. Forget golf. Top. Turn your body. Now come back down to the dress. Look where your elbow is. Just turn 90 degrees. If you didn't think about rotating my arm, it's swinging up there naturally. It's starting here.
It's turning naturally, right?
Yeah. So it's not. Don't try and make it happen. The worst thing you can do is try and make that club do something. Hit certain positions. You gotta let it swing naturally. There you go. Way better. Take it a little inside. Better. Stop right there. The right arm is here. Not here. So again, this is why when you're drilling this, you want to do a bunch of left arm only stuff. And then stay there and bring your right hand underneath to support it because you don't realize how much you're wanting to do that. That's better, yes. We got this one to the left. Good. Almost. Finish your turn. There you go. So what you did when you make a mistake and the right arm gets a little deep, out this away from your body, is that you turn about 75 degrees and then you finish getting to the top of your arm. And that will, your arms keep going, they're going to eventually end up behind you, right? But again, if you're just doing this during the whole backswing and none of this, if I do that and put them together, the turn moves my arms into box through it, not you swinging your arms. When you make a mistake, that's what typically is happening now, is that you get here, you finish, and you're like this. I'm exaggerating, it's not that far out. Right? Then you're going to get to that deep position and then come over again. So it's the turn, all turn, brings your arms into this third box. But you're going to still feel that they're out there.
Here and then.
And turn. Yep. This is what you're right over. There you go. Good. There you go. Nice. Much better. That looks really, really good. And that's what you drill. And then you add the club and then you keep working on it. Yep. That's this, right?
Yep.
Go. Turn. Almost there. Turn. There you go. So it's going to be a little bit bigger turn.
That's a lot of turn, huh? I mean, it's going to way out there.
It's going to feel like it, right? If you don't turn, though, your arms have to take over. Because you're not going to stop here.
Right.
Does it feel like it? Right. That's why everything is all about rotating, getting your body to control the club and the arms, not the other way around. And if you don't commit to making a big turn, don't be lazy about it. Like, get there. Make some pace to it. Because that's what's going to get your arms going without you having to move and manipulate your arms all over the place.
That's a big turn.
At 90 degrees for sure.
Yeah, that's way. I feel like it's way back there. You know what I mean?
It's gonna again.
That's okay.
Feel and real.
Right.
They're not the same, right?
Okay.
So I'll show you on the camera just so you see what it looks like, because this will help confirm what you're doing. So you show me that big old turn, and I'll show you a normal turn. Go ahead. Good. That was perfect because you quit halfway, and now I'm going to show you. Exactly. That's 70 degrees of turn, if you're lucky.
That's right.
But your arms are done. So now,
Keep going, it just brings them back into the other box.
bingo. But then you're like, okay, maybe I need to make a bigger turn. Then you add it, but now your arms are already going to be deep, right? Because you stopped, but the arms have got so much they got so much momentum, they don't stop magically, right? Because you've started swinging. So you've got to make that commitment to turn all the way to the top, not with your elbow way buried. There you go. There you go. That's a proper turn.
Right down there here.
Elbows a little deep. This is really low. Again, you focus on turning there. Yeah, look at your elbows. Point to the ground and let it rotate. There you go. Really relax your arms. Just let your arms get swung by your body turn. There you go. There you go. Way better. Again. A little bit deep. So when your arms get deep, you're used to swinging your arms, right? What you've got to get used to now is that your body is going to swing your arms, not you activating your shoulders, because then you'll never ever stop in time to top. You just keep going deep, right? So it's this, and then just stick your arms out here, and then let your body turn, move them there. But your arms don't really feel like you're swinging them, are tight or moving them all over the place. But your body rotation can give them the momentum to get up there. Okay. Perfect. Now just stick your arms out. Put them out here with this.
Now, see my angle right there?
Yeah, you're not turning there.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're a little steep. Yeah, exactly. That's 90 degrees to your spine with your shoulder, right? That's where we want to be. You do have a tendency to want to go that way. Yeah. Good. Better. There we go. Yeah, did you feel that right arm wanting to pick up? There you go. Feels different when So when you look in a mirror, I'm going to show you two things here because I can see it doing there. When you add this right arm, it starts to go up like this.
Okay.
And I can see your elbow above your left arm. And when you make a correction, now where's my elbow look?
Yeah, right down.
It's underneath my left arm when you're looking at it, right? That's what it's going to feel like to you. I'm exaggerating that a little bit. But you don't want the elbow ever visible above your left arm.
We didn't have a drill.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes to perfect backswing. No. You step straight up.
Here.
There you go. That's 5 minutes of perfect backswing.
There you go. And then into posture.
Exactly. Yeah. You're going to get all this perfect first.
Okay.
Yeah. Then get into your posture. And now your arms don't move at all.
Exactly.
Just move
and
your
then
body.
just turn.
You're still moving your arms. Look at your right arm's
Am I?
changed. You tell me. There you go. Turn. There you go. So once you set your arms in this position, you don't move them again. Because we've just set them at a perfect position at the top. So as you go back now, they literally don't move at all.
So when are they actually, we're in the position they actually set? I mean, it really isn't set to about here, right? You're still back about this.
They don't set to the very, very end.
Okay.
The very, very top of the swing. You're trying to keep wide, and starting to flex.
Then set. That's the set.
Right at the very end. It's the last thing I need to set.
Okay. So this drill is just showing us what it should feel like in that position.
Correct, exactly. So you put them in a perfect spot so you can see it in the mirror. You can go through all these little checkpoints I give you in the video. And then you get in your posture and rotate to the top, and you look in a mirror down the line, and you're like, did my arms change from what I did at the beginning? Do I look, here, if I look good at the top doing this, then I look in the mirror and I'm like, this or like this, stuff is changing, right? And that's why you can, at least this way, standing straight up and going through that little routine in the video, you can get your arms exactly where they're supposed to be at the top every single time and check it. So that's what that's really for.
At least that gives me that perfect hand position.
Exactly. So you start practicing keeping that flat. This has to rotate. I talk about this little bit of...
Which in that drill, that gets it there.
Exactly. It has to, right? This is going to feel really weird to keep, and you're going to feel a ton of tension in your shoulders until you just let it relax and internally rotate just a hair. And then it feels way more balanced. You should be able to stay like this all day and feel nothing. Like I have people when we do this drill in the clinics, and they're like, I don't know, just relax. They're like, I'm not flexible enough to do this. I'm like, you're not flexible enough to just raise your arms in front of your body and hold this one.
Right.
Of course you are, right? But we get so tense that we then, all of a sudden, we go there and then we get into this. You gotta relax. You didn't finish your turn. Relax your arm. There you go. As soon as you did that, your shoulder dropped like an inch. And as soon as this is no longer tense, it's naturally going to want to be able to rotate because you relax. Now with your wrist. There you go. This has got to be soft. There you go.
Okay, that's no turn. There, that's a turn.
Getting there. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, first things first, when you're working on your takeaway, I'm giving you a couple things. Takeaway, put that club down there.
Keep it.
And if you just put kind of like the little 4-square drill video on the site, it's just kind of a visual reminder for you especially to keep that club out there. Now we start talking about getting that turn to help move the club into that third box, right? But in doing that, the last thing you'd want to do on earth is ever help it by moving the club into the third box with your arms and hands, which is what you're doing, right? You do this, and then the club's stuck and we're in trouble, right? So as you keep practicing that, everything's going to feel like it's all happening in box 2, and you've got to make sure you finish your turn. And if you do that with that 5 minutes of perfect backswing video, and go through that sequence in front of a mirror, you need 2. You need 1 face on and 1 down the line. So now I've upped your teaching budget for you. You need 2 mirrors now. Okay? Can't get by with just 1. Because what will happen every single time is you'll be in the mirror and you'll look at it down the line and go, dude, that looks pretty good, right? And I turn face on and look at what I did. I didn't turn at all, right? Everybody does that. So you gotta have 2. So worst case scenario, get one of the little ones we have on the site that you can at least stick in your bag. So you can see when you're doing this drill, you need to make sure that your arms are perfect, but you've gotta make sure that you turn to get them there. Because it doesn't do you a lick of good to look all pretty at the top and then not turn to get there. It's how you get there that matters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any questions for me?
No, I think I'm good. He's got his work cut out for him. but I get it. I know exactly what you're saying.
Perfect.
I understand the problem.
Okay.
All right, we'll get there.
Well, let me know if we can do anything else to help. Thanks so much for bringing me down.
Are you kidding? I think it's great what you're doing, Chef. It's really admirable.
Oh, thanks.
You know,
Oh, it's been fun.
It's really cool.
It's been like an early Christmas for me. I got to meet a lot of cool people. So
Yeah.
it's been really, really cool.
How
And I
about
got to see this cool
the
club.
guy from Louisiana, the video that you sent out?
I'm heading up there.
You haven't been to him yet?
No, so we're heading from here. I got 5 more lessons tomorrow here. I'm going to Miami, and then the Villages, and then Pensacola, New Orleans, Shreveport, Alma, Arkansas, Peggs, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oklahoma